Welcome to Danielle, the Happy Medium. For those who do not know me, I am Danielle, and welcome to the first Q&A on mediumship. And welcome to just me on YouTube, because to be honest, it's the first time I've ever come on YouTube and done a Q&A. Now, I can't see the comments at the moment, so please bear with me so I can have a look and see what's going on, so I can take a look at there. Oh, hiya to Lindsay. Thank you very much for that, Lindsay. I really do appreciate it, and thank you very much for commenting, so thank you for that. Please do like, subscribe and share. Hi to Kerry as well. It's nice to see you there, Kerry. And just sort of laugh out loud. I know it's strange, so different to Facebook. For those who do not know, I have a Facebook page which is called Danielle the Happy Medium. First time chatting on here to you. I know it's the first time I've been chatting on here. I hope you've got some questions for me, Lindsay, as well. Hiya to Debbie. Hiya, Debbie. I will get back to your message there when I'm obviously finished on here and things. Julie's going to be joining us as well, and she's got lots of questions. I don't know any of her questions. She certainly hasn't informed me of any of the questions that she's going to be putting to me this evening. But this live stream's all about hi Kelly. I know, really exciting times, isn't it? It's something completely new for me. Obviously we've got new equipment and stuff coming, that's all being ordered. Hi, this is the first for me. It certainly is for me and all Caroline. So yeah, we're all novices together. Which is really which is nice, because obviously I'm learning and yous are learning. So tell you what it is, the camera's kind of good on this one compared to Facebook. So definitely it's a new thing for me. Did you find out, right, when did I find out I had a gift? Right, great question, Lindsay. First thing I would say is it's never a gift, it's an ability. So always remember that, because you know your ability can be progressed, pushed forward, moved, grown, this type of thing. But I would say probably when I was around about 8 or 9, I was aware that there was something not quite right, or something was a little bit different there. From seeing different people walking across my mother's landing to that type of thing. But that sort of come and went. I would say then again when I was around about 12, 13, I heard my guides and things sort of shouting out my name. I knew then that there was something, you know, a little bit untoward, or there wasn't something quite right. And my mother used to say as well, I had a really vivid imagination. She used to talk about people. And my mother used to think that I just had a vivid imagination. Now it's become that it was the spirit world, and my mum just didn't know that, because obviously, like I say, I'm from a very non-spiritual background, or my family are no way, shape or form spiritual there. So then there was like that went on. Then when I was around about 16, 17, I used to get visions and things, more to like with predictions than there were actually spirit based. Like I would predict that, you know, my dad's car would break down, or we would have an issue on a holiday and stuff like that, and they would then come off. So all that went on. It went off a little bit when I was having my children, when I was from about 18, because my first daughter was born when I was 18. And then I had obviously 2 children, then I had my 3rd child, subsequently that child's not here anymore. But that went off, and it went off when I was having my children and I was doing my day-to-day life. But even when I was with my children's father and stuff like that, I used to get this feeling I knew was up to stuff, and that's gone on all of my life. I used to know that people weren't always being good or true or whatever it may be there. And I have this great intuition about knowing people and knowing what people are like before they even tell me. I get like this feeling about them, or if I've got people who aren't very good, I get like a bad head, or that it's my calling card for I need to move away from this situation type of thing. But yeah, I would say from being a young lady there, Lindsay, anyway, from being a young child. So thanks for your question, I really do appreciate that. Lindsay says again there, I'm the opposite. My mum and sister, great grand, have the ability and I don't. And you know, that's I hear that quite commonly, Lindsay, in the fact that, you know, a lot of family members will have that ability and then other family members will have none of it. It just depends. I think you'll probably be able to progress that ability? Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, if you put your mind to it. But sometimes some people don't want to, and there's no issues or problems there with that. It's just you as a person, or whatever it is that you choose to either push it forward or choose not to. Everybody has a choice. It's free will as to whether you work for the spirit world or not. It's entirely up to you. If you choose to have something to do with them or not have something to do with them. So thank you very much for your questions. I really do appreciate it. So has anybody else got any more questions? While I'm here, I'll talk a little bit about obviously the upcoming events that I have coming on Facebook, which is all within the northeast of England there. We have Pete Lee coming in next Tuesday evening, but that's obviously sold out there. And then obviously we also have Bolton coming in on the Thursday, which is Bolton Golf Club. Tickets are still available for that. Leeds is now a sellout, which is on Saturday. So my apologies for them who's been trying to get tickets. Unfortunately, there's nothing left. And then I have Aberdeen at the end of the month, and we are now limited tickets on that as well. So unfortunately, they're quite all busy events and stuff. So I hope you're all enjoying the new channel. You know, there's going to be so much going on with this channel. With connections to, you know, weekly uploads on, you know, all things spiritual, from, you know, guides to what I think of mediumship, you know, evidence, how to find evidence. You know, there's going to be all sorts of really interactive exercises going to be on here as well, with the use of a lot of stuff with. Is Julie? Well done, Julie. I'm so pleased that you're here. Thought I had charged my phone. Hi, Irene. You're not charging the phone. Hi to Carol. Any dates in Glasgow? Yes, darling, the 22nd of September. I'm in Glasgow. Busy night already. We've sold quite a few tickets for that. But with connections to the channel, there's going to be all sorts of, you know, things going on here. There's going to be all sorts of you know, really interactive exercises. I train mediums at the moment. I've got my first mentorship program coming out in June. I'm halfway through of me diploma in mediumship with the School of Excellence, and I've just applied for my CSNU, a card there in PSA, which is me being watched while I do demonstrations of mediumship in the SNU churches all over the north and all over the country, really, to be fair. And this will obviously go towards my CSNU, which I should get probably, I would say, I'll put a time limit on of next year for that one. But hopefully I might get it a little bit before that. I'm waiting for my tutor to be assigned to me. So I've got quite a bit going on with training. Because I feel it's important that my knowledge base continues to grow and evolve. Hi to everybody who's just saying hi. It's really nice to see you on here. So has anybody got any questions for me, or has anybody got anything that they'd like to talk to me about the spirit world, or anything that they would like to know more about the spirit world there? Because, you know, this channel is about learning. It is about you understanding mediumship more. It's not so much just about messages. You know, I did a lot of messages for a long time. I've now sort of come to I've sort of ceased to do them now there on my Facebook page, due to the fact that my mediumship has changed or gone a different way, because of the fact that my mediumship has grown, and what worked for me then obviously doesn't work for me now. Did I gain a lot from it? Yeah, an awful lot from it. And would I do it again? Without a shadow of a doubt. But you know, I know that my mediumship is changing, and I'm changing as a medium, and unfortunately some things I've got to leave in order for new things to come in. Louise was saying, I missed your comment there. Louise, retype your comment on because I missed it. This is it's great to watch you develop on this journey. I wish you the best. Well, thank you for that, Lindsay. I appreciate it. Lindsay's saying hi. So Julie's asking, what happens if someone comes through and doesn't want to speak? Do you have... Re-comment that, because it's like they're sort of flashing in, flashing up. Oh, there it is. Julie's saying, what happens if someone comes through, you don't want to speak to them? Do you have the ability to ask them to leave? Yes, Julie, you always have... it's always your responsibility, or it's always your choice as to whether or not you take that communication. I tend to find from my personal experience that when communicators have come through and they have wanted to speak to you and you have chosen not to want to speak to them, it's normally because they've got something that they either want to apologise for, or because there's something gone on there within that connection. But it is always your choice. I've seen me stand on a rostrum at Seaham Church, and I brought a lady's dad through, and the lady just completely not to turn around and said, I didn't send him away, I'm not interested, I don't want to talk to him. And as a medium, I have no control over that. All I can do is turn to the communicator and say, look, unfortunately, this communication cannot go ahead, you need to step away. And unfortunately they will step away there. So I hope that answers the question a little bit there, Julie. Caroline saying, would you recommend tarot cards? I've always been different, only dip my toe in now. You know, I've got no issue with tarot cards. I mean, I love tarot cards. I'm a self-taught tarot card girl. You know, I I self-taught myself. I didn't take a course in it. I just intuitively knew what them cards meant, and it has served me very, very well over many, many years. And I would recommend that to anybody. You know, if you want to do courses, you know, by all means do courses. You know, it does you no harm. But I would always say with any kind of tarot deck or anything, that always get your intuitional feel of it. Always do what feels best for you. And I would say that with your mediumship as well. You know, always do what feels best for you. Always go with your gut. If it don't feel right, don't do it. If it feels right, do it. You know, cards are a really, really interesting tool. You know, the pictures are really interesting to sort of understand the translation of them or your feel of them, if that makes sense. But yeah, you go for them. You know, you'll probably find it's a really interesting experience for you, and you'll gain a lot of knowledge from it. You know, you'll tend to find as you grow, as I did, I dropped my cards and I become very aware of working with energy, yeah, or manipulating energy more, or functioning with energy more, because that was how I did it, step by step by step. Some people won't use cards at all and will be straight away linked to the spirit world and bring that energy to the forefront. Other people will need tools in order to bring that. And there's no right or wrong in either one of them, you know, whatever fits you. And I say this about mediumship and psychic ability or whatever it may be. No one shoe fits all, because everybody's mediumship is different. Everybody is a medium is different. And every training course will not be for you because of the fact that it doesn't suit your way of thinking or the way in which that you want to advance as a medium. And this is why I say try out loads of different trainers, you know, look at different, you know, mediums, see what they've got to say. You know, I watch lots of different trainers, got lots of different trainers that I'm training with this year. Do I think that all of that will fit with me? No, probably not. Do I think I'll take something and go, yeah, that's okay for me, but the rest I drop? And that is the best way I can explain to anybody about doing cards, you know, anything to do with mediumship, that type of thing. You know, do what's best for you and how it feels for you. Julie's saying, do you ever withhold information, or would you give it anyway and rather be wrong and hold back anything? Julie, I never withhold information. What I will say is I will prepare myself. So I will, for example, I may know that the gentleman who stepped in beside me as I'm reading for his daughter, I'll become aware that there's been a sexual activity linked there. All right, this is just sort of an example. So what I will do is I will sort of say within my mechanics, or I'll speak with my man as I'm communicating with the other gentleman, right, find me the best way possible to put this in. And this is where your personal responsibility comes in, as to how you deliver a message. The way in which you deliver the message is far better between a good message and an extraordinarily good message. So I would say I'm being made aware here that there's been an issue within the family of a connection to an abuse link, you know, either emotionally, mentally, or physically. So I'm not saying that it's either or. So I soften that blow a little bit there. That communicator or sitter will then say to me, yes, I can understand that. I will say, would you like me to discuss that with you, as this communicator would like to discuss that. I then give my sitter an opportunity to either say nay or yay to me. And if they say no, then I would then say to that communicator, sorry, but we're not discussing that. She doesn't want to talk about that. Move on. What's next? Have I ever withheld information? No, I haven't, but I have moved information round so that I can package it the right way or give it in the best way possible. Yes, I have done that as a medium. So I hope that answers your question a little bit there, Julie Pet. I'm just going to take a mouthful of my tea because I've been talking now on and off for the last 3 hours, because I was on Facebook talking about bits and bobs. And then I've been in the meditation group, and then I've been in with my trainees as well. Julie again asks, can you explain why a spirit communicates through a medium? Why the spirit communicates through a medium? Because that medium is a vessel, and this is all that you are, is a medium. I see this very much across the platforms or wherever, where people forget that we are just the vessel for the spirit to communicate with. So basically all you are is a pure spirit sort of vessel, and allowing this communicator to give whatever information they feel they would like to give in order to get over to their communicator. Why does spirit communicate through a medium? Because that that is the way in which that they do it, so that they can get their information or message over. The spirit world uses vessels or uses mediums in order. You are just like the middleman. That's what medium is, and in the Greek word medium, you are the middleman, you are the man in the middle. The spirit world cannot communicate everything that they want to communicate on their own, so they bring in mediums to be the middleman in order to interpret and use you, so that you can then relay that information to their loved ones. And that can work in a couple of different ways. So that can be through mental mediumship, which is through impressions of thoughts and feelings within the mind. It can be done through physical mediumship, which is where your trance light work and the altered states will come in. And then obviously you've then got your then you've got your cabinet work or your seance work, which is where you will have a medium sitting within a cabinet, or where they'll have sort of a drape over them there, and they'll use sort of ectoplasm and stuff to fully materializations, or they may use their voice box in order to relay information, if that makes sense. So I hope I answered your question a little bit there for you, Julie. Thank you for your question, Julie. I love your questions, and I find Julie's questions really interesting, and I was really pleased because she asks me loads and loads. So I'm really honoured that you've come on here and sort of give me all your questions. I am going to be starting to bring like guest speakers in as well, so I am going to have like people coming on to the YouTube channel, and I'll be going to see people, and I'll be doing information and stuff. And I am going to be starting to do some demonstrations like over here, because obviously you know I've got a whiteboard because this is my office, and I'm going to be showing you like demonstrations. I'm going to be drawing and stuff, so you only just listen to me talk, but you're also going to be seeing the visualizations of it as well. This channel is going to be really interactive. It's going to have loads of different stuff in. We're going to have healers coming on talking about healing and all that types of things. Lindsay's saying I've been slacking the meditation group. Well, come on, Lindsay, you should know better. It's not doing it. It's a really aligned doing the last one. That's why. I got really aligned. Well, I hope you stick with it, Lindsay, all right, because you're obviously making progress. Why am I not freaking out much at the moment? Because I've had a virus. In fact, I'm looking after my mum and auntie. Well, take it easy there. Julie saying spirits sometimes communicate using symbols. Do you find it hard to interpret sometimes? Spirit world will always use symbols, because symbols are some of the easiest ways to sort of get the spirit sort of, or get the medium to sort of understand things. What happens is, and I teach my students this, or my trainees this quite frequently, is this what I call a spiritual toolbox. Your spiritual toolbox is basically a memory bank, or it will become a knowledge bank of information that the spirit world will use in order to be able to relay an information, a message over. So i.e., if I see daffodils, I know that I've got somebody who passed in the month of March or the month of April. If I see a connection to snow, I know I've got somebody who's got a passing in the month of November, December or January. They are just some of the symbols of spiritual knowledge that I have started to log in here. I may then become aware that I've got a pain to the chest. That would be my sign for a heart attack. I might then be aware that I'm missing one of my fingers. Again, this would be a spiritual knowledge toolbox that the spirit world have built in using symbols and feelings and thoughts in order for me to relay that information back over to the sitter. When we first start out, the spirit world will give you lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of information. It can sometimes be a bit mind-blowing, actually, there, or different symbols or different sort of uses of things in order for you to gain your spiritual toolbox or gain your knowledge, and so that order that you work with them or sort of make sure that that message gets over. As you progress as a medium, you will find your symbols change, or you won't see as many symbols. You will start to see other things or other scenarios, or you will feel other things, again, to gain that knowledge or gain that spiritual toolbox, so that when you're doing a demonstration of mediumship, or you're doing a connection to a sitting or whatever it may be, you will be able to go into that data bank and go, oh yeah, I remember that because I've seen that before. And then you can relay that information over to your sitter, and that sitter will then say, yes, I can understand that. So it's a very good way of the spirit world being able to get that information over, so that you can then relay to your sitter or client, if that makes sense. Because ultimately, if you don't know that knowledge base, or you don't have that knowledge base, you're going to struggle there. And I was talking quite frequently, where I was watching somebody else today, on YouTube about some bits and pieces, and they were talking about names and talking about street names and stuff like that, which is good evidence. It is good evidence, and I don't dispute that. But obviously, if you don't have that knowledge base, so i.e. if you don't, visit many places or this type of thing, your knowledge of street names are going to be quite limited there. So you may see some, but not all of them. The only way to build that knowledge base is to go away and read, about your telephone books, or you get through address books or whatever. So you're gaining that knowledge, you're putting that knowledge into your mindset, so that when this communicator comes forward, the spirit world comes forward, you can then use that in order to get your message across, i.e. medical conditions. If you want to be the top notch what people pass with, you need to get a medical book out, and you need to start looking up on your conditions, looking up on your all that type of thing, so that you have that knowledge base there. Same with breeds of dogs. If you want to know what kind of dog it is, you need to be knowledgeable up on your breeding dogs. You need to be looking, that's where your knowledge base is going to be, because that's where the spirit world's going to give you it. So when people say that you ask for it, that's actually not actually true. It's the fact that the spirit world, when you ask for the name, you're not, if you haven't got that knowledge in your mindset, or you haven't got this knowledge in here, then the spirit world's going to struggle to get that name over. I have an excellent exercise that I'm going to be putting up over the next couple of weeks there, in order to help you find them street names and to find them names and conditions and stuff like that. So bear with us just as I get this channel up and running. Caroline saying, do you have a guardian angel that keeps the sort of order in the spirit world? Caroline, retype again, because I missed that there, darling, because they flash up really quick and then go away. I may have to have a look at that. There's me slopping on my tea, thank you. Some sort of spirit world, or do they come through in all sorts of order? Do you have a guardian angel that keeps sort of order? Right. So you mean when I'm working? So basically, within the spiritual world, there is different guides. So different guides do different things. So let me sort of demonstrate this a little bit to you, if I can. So, because I'm really good at demonstrating, I like to show visuals so you understand. So normally you have a doorkeeper. So we'll use me as an example, all right? So there's me. My doorkeeper is normally to the front, because I'm a front working medium. And then you have a guide to the left, which is main guide. You may have a guide to the right back, which will be a teacher guide. You then have another guide who may be on the left, which is a joy guide. All right, so that's just, and then you may have a protector guide at the very back. So let me just write that down so you can see. So, wait a minute, because I haven't wrote that on there. So my apologies here. This is just a bit scruffy. My apologies here. I'm going to have to get some proper flip cards. So, this is sort of what you've got. So we'll use me as an example because it's easier for you. So here's me as a medium. My doorkeeper will be here. To the left of you, you will have your main guide, and stepping behind the left to the back shoulder, you will normally have a joy guide. Joy guide will can be very quick and sort of get you your information really, really, quick and fast there if you're working with the spirit world. To the back of you, you may have a protector guide. To the right-hand back corner here, you will probably have a teaching guide, a guide who will come in, teach you knowledge, learn you new things of the spirit world. Not everybody will have this set up. Not everybody will have all these guides. Some people will just have the doorkeeper who keeps out the people who don't need to be in there, or keeps them all in order until time is right for you to work as a medium. Most people will have a main guide. Main guides are there to give you knowledge, keep you safe in the spirit world. You become very trusting of your main guide, either doorkeeper or main guide, or your two main responsibilities, or the two main guides that you always need to find, because these are the two of the most important ones. But they're all important, but these two really are. But the doorkeeper or gatekeeper is another reference to a doorkeeper. Is there ultimately to keep things out of space, keep people in control, making sure that they're doing the job to the best of their ability, and not sort of having loads and loads of hoo-ha, I suppose, because otherwise, if you didn't have no doorkeeper, wait a minute, I'm just going to turn this down, so my apologies there. Wait a minute, I'm just going to turn this down, so there. If you haven't got this person here, it becomes a little bit sort of chaotic, or it all just sort of goes a bit Pete Tong. So I hope that understands, or that makes it a little bit more, you understand that a little bit more. If you need more clarification, let me know, and we can speak a little bit more about these people and their purposes and designs. But doorkeepers or guardian angels or gatekeepers or whatever are designed to keep people out, or keep people in order, so that everything runs to the best of its ability up there. So let's see what other questions we've got. What other questions have we got there, folks? Have we got any more? Poor, our Wobby must have that heating on. It's lathering up here, bless her little heart. I don't always see them because they flash in, flash out so quick. So hopefully when you type again, there you are. Caroline saying, "Ooh, thank you. You're welcome, my darling." Right. So Debbie's saying, "Why am I seeing your face in silver? Why is that?" There is no right or wrong in the way in which that you see the spirit world there, Debbie. You know, everybody sees the spirit world differently. There is no right or wrong. Oh, here I can see it there. So that's okay. I can see all the comments now, folks. There is no right or wrong to that. It's just the way in which that you see them. You know, sometimes I see spirit faces. It's just like sort of floating in, floating out. Sometimes I see them so clearly it's unreal. Other times I just see them as white. Other times I don't see them at all. So try not to worry too much about that there, because you know it's important that you see them the way that you see them, so that the spirit world allow you to be able to work that way to the best of your ability. Don't ever compare your mediumship to anybody else, or compare who you are or what you see to anybody else, because you know what you see is just as important as what anybody else sees. So as for you seeing them in silver, I would say there's absolutely no issue or problem with that. It's just probably the way in which that the spirit world chooses to work with you, and accept that and honour that, and be blessed that that's the way that they want to work with you there, Debbie. All right. Julie's asking, in the spirit world, do spirits get the choice to stay the same, or can they progress? Spirit world allows anybody to have free will. So free will, in turn, they can do whatever they want to do. So i.e., if they choose to move forward, then that's entirely up to them. If they choose to want to stay the way in which that they stay, then that's again also entirely up to them. As far as the spirit world's concerned, they always want the spirit to continue to evolve and grow, but because of free will, the spirit will choose to do whatever it is that it chooses to do there. And that is okay with the spirit world. They have no problems with that. They have no problem in you staying as you are or progressing. Whichever that spirit chooses to do is entirely of its own free will and choice. So I hope that also answers your question there, Julie, as well. All right. Caroline saying, "Oh, thank you. You're very welcome." John saying, "Hi, John. Why do some people get visions?" Says John. Why do some people get visions? Some people get visions because they're clairvoyant. Some people get visions because that's the way in which that they see the spirit world. Some people get visions because it's easier for the spirit world to get through on a vision link. I tend to find with most mediums, or most mediums who are working or starting out, all of them start out in a clairvoyant link, because one, it's easier for the spirit world, plus because of humans have a real issue with like sort of wanting to see stuff, and in order to see it then means they can sort of rationalize it. So the minute they rationalize it, then the spirit world's like, right, they get this now, let's sort of like take this little bit further. So that is normally what happens when people first start out. They're quite massively clairvoyant, or they work quite often on a clairvoyant link. As you start to progress, you'll find that they start to bring more and more clairs in, or you'll start to work with different clairs, which is clairaudience, clairsentient, claircognilian, clairempathy. You know, there's a couple of these other two, which is smelling and tasting. I don't know their names off by heart, so my apologies there if I haven't quite got them ones to the T there. But they're about the 7 clairs that you'll work with across the range of clairs. And what they will do is start to add them clairs in, so that your clair base builds. Another thing that will also happen is when you first start working for spirit, well, you'll work very much with your guides, or you'll work with your guide. So he will bring that information through for you. He will her will help you to work that way, because it's easier. As you start to progress down the path, you'll find that they then start to step back and start allowing you to communicate spirit on spirit, which means that your communicator is working solely with you, if that makes sense. But with connections to your visions, John, it's just that's the way the spirit world will start you off there, or it's the fact that you work that way, or it's the fact that it's just easier to get that information over to you in the best way possible, because the spirit will want to find the easiest way to work with you, because it makes their life easier. The harder it is, the longer they've got to work, or the harder they've got to work. And you've got to remember, we've only got a certain time frame, or a certain window of time. So they're going to find the easiest way to work with you, so that you can get that information over in the best way possible. Not only for your sitter or your client, but also for you as a medium, and for them. So it's like a 2 or 3 way street there. So I hope that answers your question, John. Any more information, let me know, darling. All right. Debbie saying, "Thanks, Danielle." No problem, Debs. Danielle Smith says, have you ever had any scary experiences and how do you manage that? Oh, Danielle, if you only knew, my dear, if you only knew. Have had some interesting things going up there in the spirit world. A lot of people will say that it was my mind or where my mind was at its time. Maybe, maybe not. I tend to believe everything that I see in the spirit world because I wouldn't be showing it unless it was there or there was something going on there. The best thing to do, ignore it. It sounds really, really weird, and unfortunately us humans have a great want to interfere is the word I would use. And I get this time and time again from my man. He's like, I'll do my job, you do your job, and I want to do their job and my own job all at the same time. So I tend to like to interfere, and I get wrong for that quite a lot up there. But yeah, with connections to what to do, ignore it is the best thing possible. Learn to trust that they're doing their job, that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, because ultimately that's what they're there for. They're your guides. They have that knowledge. They have the spirit world on their side. They have everything that they need. I mean, some guides have been training for years. Some guides have only been trained for a couple of years. All guides have to be trained in the spirit world. Or have to have extensive training with the spirit world in order to be a guide, whatever kind of guide, whether it be a doorkeeper, whether it be a main guide, whether it be a teaching guide, whatever guide it may be. There is a couple of different guides, which is fully light breeded guides, which is, working for the light, of the light, and is of the light. Then you have grey guides. Grey guides are guides who have not completed their training within the spirit world or have left the training. They still have training, but they have either left the training program or stepped away from the training program for whatever reasons. They still will work for the light, but they will be overseen by the light because they're not completely fully breeded light guides or haven't finished their training completely there. Then you will then get other guides or guides who are still sort of progressing but haven't made it, but will be allowed to maybe work with a medium from time to time. But they tend to be some of your guides. I've seen teams where there's been grey guides in and the light's been overseen it, which they will do because obviously they're working with a medium. Then I've seen fully fledged light guides in all their glory, and I've seen different guides from nuns to priests to animals to whatever it may be there, because they come in all shapes and sizes. I've seen guides just in energy. I've seen guides that just move to music, energy that just moves to music, doesn't speak or do anything but just vibrates. I've seen all sorts of different guides over the years. But yeah, that's just a little bit there on guides. I am going to be doing a big sort of intro into guides and talking a little bit about that. But my advice to your question, Danielle, ignore it, sweetie. That's the best thing to do, and learn to trust in them and know that they're there.
I find on the web.
And know that, sorry, that's just my daughter coming there, my apologies there. And know that they're doing their job and trust in them and don't get involved. That it would be my ultimate piece of advice for you there, Danielle. So I hope that answers your question. Debbie's saying, when spirit come close, do you ever feel dizzy? Depending on if that's a condition or if that's part of the spirit as they come forward, then yeah, sometimes I will feel dizzy, or sometimes I'll feel incredibly sick. Sometimes I might feel as if, can anyone see my comments? They're not showing up on the screen. Yes, Lindsay, I can see them. I have got them here, the top chat, and I have got some equipment coming that's going to change all this. So don't worry, this is just sort of a test dummy sort of run, all right? The minute I get on my gadgets, it'll be a different story, folks, all right? But with connections to Debbie's question, yeah, like if that communicator is coming forward that way, or that communicator sort of, is that way, or whatever it may be, then yeah, they're going to make you feel that way. Yeah, they're going to make you feel dizzy, because ultimately that's how they felt. You'll get people who come forward who have conditions where there's a dizzy spell linked to it. So sometimes, Debbie, yeah, not all the time. If you're talking about every spirit in general, I would say no. But if it's part of their condition or part of them as a person, then yes, always, because that's what's going to be relayed over to your client, which your client's going to understand and take. So I hope that answers your question there for you, Debs. John saying, thank you, no problem, John. Julie saying, mediumship is a mind-to-mind process. Is this where Is this why there isn't a language barrier? That's incorrectly right, Julie. Well done, you. I'm well impressed with you, Julie. Yes, excellent question as well. It is a mind-on-mind matter. It doesn't matter, and I demonstrated this massively in France when I was out there working recently. It does not matter whether they speak French, Italian, English, Portuguese, whatever it may be. It makes no difference. When that communicator comes forward, I hear it in the way of English so that I can then relay that information back over. What I will hear is maybe an in-depth of or a change of, interpretation of how them words are said, or I know that there'll be a twang to them, or I know that there's a little bit of in-depth, or there's something different about them words. And I would say to my client, I have a gentleman here who makes me aware that his language is different, or he speaks in a different way. She would then turn to me and go, yeah, I can understand that straight away. And then that sets my reading up, because then I know that that's where I need to be, and that's where I'm going to go. There can be some issues with that, because again, your knowledge base isn't there, because you're not, a French speaking person, or, they are an English speaking, well, not English speaking person, sorry, my apologies there on that box, but not like a German speaking person. So obviously their words are abbreviated or changed a little bit, so their meanings could be different to English meanings. But that comes with time, and again, with your knowledge and learning different languages, that will then just become like flow, because you've done that research, you've got that knowledge base in there for the spirit world to be able to access it and use it. But your guides will always ultimately step in to help and make sure that that message gets over. If you get stuck, they'll come forward and they'll be like, right, like, what can we do to help you here? And that's the good thing about guides. They are always willing to help. They're always willing to take over and to assist you in any way, shape, and form, because getting the message over is just as important to them as it is to you. And I've seen me kick clean off on my lot. I'm like, why is this not working? And he's going, because you don't listen. And I'm like, but I do. And do I have rows with my guides? Well, I don't row. I just shout and scream on. And my lot's just like looking as if to say she had a crazy pills a day or something. You know what I mean? They're just like standing looking, because humans become really frustrated, especially mediums, and I see it happen across the board all the time. We get frustrated because it's not going the way that we want it, and then we think that it should be going this way, and them up there has got a totally different plan. But with answers to your question, you are spot on. You are spot on, Julie. You really are spot on there. All right. Let's take a look. Danielle saying, yes, thanks, no problem. Caroline, how cool, can't wait for the gadget. Oh, Caroline, I'm turning into a technophobic, you know what I mean, like a proper techno lady. And I never ever thought for 1 second, the amount of research I've been doing on technology these last few weeks. I've got other people out there looking for stuff and all sorts, looking for like information and looking for like stuff and that for the channel and that. I was talking to somebody today and I was saying, you need to find me this stuff. He was like, I'll go and find whatever it is you need for you. And I was like, champion. Anyway, let's have a look. What are your thoughts on past lives? My daughter could encounter very vividly, from Danielle. This is a question from Danielle. What do I think of past lives? Right, I agree with them. I do. Not everybody's probably going to agree with that one there. But I agree with past lives. I believe that everybody in some way, shape or form has been reincarnated at some point. I feel that we're not always, everybody's down here sort of learning experiences and following up on life lessons that we maybe didn't always get right the first time round. Some people's been here more than 5 or 6 times. Some people's been here, only once. It just depends on where your soul is and what your soul contract is. Do I believe that a lot of it's already designed before you get down here? Yeah, and I've read a couple of books on soul contracts and that type of thing. Not everybody agrees with that, but again, that's my personal choice, and you're well within your rights to believe whatever it is that you want to believe. But with connections to past lives, yeah, I definitely do agree with them there, Danielle, and I certainly do think that, there's an opportunity to access them. There's no lot of past life regression things that go on. I haven't actually had that done myself, but do I think it would be worthwhile? Yeah, because I'd be interested to see what goes on with that there, because again, it's building my knowledge set. But yeah, I believe in past lives, and do I believe that children tend to be able to access these things a lot easier? 1, because there's no fear built in there. 2, because children are so easy and, they're so carefree and anything's possible with children. And I think that's why we all love children so much. They're so free-like in everything that they do. But with connections to your question, do I agree with them and do I think that they go on? Yeah, definitely, Danielle, definitely. Debbie saying, loving it. Julie saying, have you done a sitting where no one's come through? No. And I've been sitting for what? 4 years. And I did a full year and a half of just private sittings. At one point, I wasn't even floor demonstration or nothing, Julie. And I have yet to have a sitting where nobody's come through. Yet. Somebody's always turned up, always. I have seen it where, neighbours have turned up and everything. Yeah, I've seen all sorts go on. But yeah, nah, never, ever, ever. The spirit world will never, ever let you down. You may not always get who you want, but they will never let you down. They will always send somebody who will be able to give me the information that I need in order to help you move forward on the earth plane or give you advice and guidance there. Remember, they'll never tell you what to do, but definitely give you help and guidance without a shadow of a doubt there. Anyway. So I hope that answers your question there, Julie. Jacqueline saying, not sure if I'm a clairvoyant. My great-grandmother was. I do have spirits sometimes visit in my dreams. Sometimes they show me stuff I might hurt in my... Wait a minute, that moved a bit quick there. My apologies. So let me just pull that back up. Sometimes they show me stuff in my head, or sometimes I see them in the physical form. I have had no training. Nothing wrong with that, Jackie. That's telling me, one, that you work not only objectively, but you also work internally as well. So you've got internal clairvoyance and also objectively clairvoyance. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just the fact that that's the way that they're working. I would say that if it's bothering you in any way, shape or form, you could do maybe putting some boundaries in there, because remember, they're infringing on you, or you just need to tell them, hold up a minute, look, this is my free time, you're not invading on me, or I don't want you bothering me. Do you know what I mean? I'm busy with my day-to-day life. And sometimes spirit do sort of need that, because they can get a little pushy there from time to time. And especially if you haven't got no guides in place, Jackie, or you've got no doorkeeper in place. Excuse me. Excuse me. Or if you don't have a doorkeeper or gatekeeper or whatever it is that may be in place, just to sort of keep them back there, while you're doing your day-to-day life, because at the end of the day you are entitled to your life, even though you work for the spirit world. But interesting stuff, Jackie. Maybe drop me an inbox sometime, we could chat a little bit more about that. Haven't had no training. I've seen many people who give a phenomenal evidence with no training whatsoever. Training, I train myself. I'm quite free with my training. I don't tend to restrict it. I tend to allow my people to do what they need to do, and I just give them that spiritual toolbox or that stuff there. I don't really tell people that you should be doing it this way or you should be doing it that way. I don't really say that you should be opening up or closing down, or you should be doing this or you should be doing it. I give both sides of every coin, because I believe that it's up to my trainees to choose what it is that they want to do. I'm not here to tell them as a teacher what's right or what's wrong. I'm just here to tell them or give them the facts of this is this, this is this. It's up to you. You go away and make that decision, because as a medium, you still need to be making them decisions. If I'm making them decisions for you or telling you what to do, you're just going to be like, well, Danielle says, so therefore it's got to be right. And I'm not always right about everything. Does that make sense? And, has my mediumship evolved in the last 2 years? Yeah. Has some of the stuff that I believed 4 years ago changed in the last 2? Of course. Has the stuff that I've learned in the last 2 years to now also changed? Yeah, it has. But some things still stay with me because they suit me, and that's where I feel as if I need to be with that. But yeah, definitely get in touch with me and let me know. I would definitely be interested to talk to you there, Jackie. Anyway, Debbie saying, I believe in past life. I agree, Debbie. Karen saying, so do I. Oh, yes, good laugh. I got slagged even believing in the planets by the whole of the topic. I hear people say, talking to guru land or whatever. Here, look. You do what's best for you. You know what I mean? If that works for you and that's what you want to believe in, and you see them types of things, who am I to say any different? Who am I to tell you that that's not true, right, or indifferent? Just because I haven't seen it doesn't mean to say that it's not true. Just because I haven't heard it doesn't mean to say that it's not true either. And this is where I talk about you go with your personal passion. You go with what sits with you. You do whatever, I see loads of it. People are out opinions out there, you're not a good medium because you're not dishing out this and you're not dishing out that. Well, that's your personal preference, and that's what you state. do I always look for the best evidence possible? Yeah. And do I want my trainees to find that? Yeah. But sometimes that can take years. That can take years to nail that down, to get that into a good place. You know, some of the best well-established mediums were at a 10, 15 year. And even then, they didn't always get it right. And nobody ever gets it right 100%. The amount of pressure that mediums pile on to, you know, to conform and to be, you know, this big I am, you know, is massive out there now. And you know, always be patient. And if it gans with you and it fits with you, Caroline, and it, you know, you like it and you want to do it, then you do it, pet. You do it, all right? Don't let anybody tell you any different. Danielle agrees. This is what I think on life contracts. Yeah, I've read a couple of books, Danielle, there on life contracts, and I've certainly seen, you know, quite a bit on them, you know, and I've certainly done a lot of knowledge and stuff on them there, you know. I don't talk about stuff unless, you know, I've got some sort of knowledge base on it. I might not have all the knowledge base on it, but, you know, I have some, you know, where the book, I've got the book up here. Is this it? There, this is the book. This is the one about soul contracts. This one here's a really good one. I've read this one a couple of times. Maybe you want to check this lady out, Caroline Mantis or Mintis or something. I hope that's her name there. But this is all about soul contract. Get it off Amazon, stuff like that. Really interesting read. It's talking all about different aspects of past life. Also soul contracts. So maybe check that one out there, folks. Let me take a look. So Mandy's saying, you done your last meditation and loved it. I love this meditation group, Mandy. It's so phenomenal, and I love to see how he's growing there as well. However, at the end I was walking back to the bench and there was a little red scarf and a handkerchief just waiting there. What does it mean? Could be that there's just a little sign for you there, darling, alright? Or it could be that there's something more to come there. So we are going to be meditating next Friday. So we'll see where we go with that one there as well, Mandy. But red could also be a little red. Would you understand that there was someone in the spirit world who either carried handkerchiefs or carried a little red scarf? And because you didn't see them, they just left you a little sign. So have a little think on that one there, my sweet, alright? Sue Evans is saying, you told me a new baby was coming to the family. Didn't think I was going to get a great nana. I'm too young. Well, funny you should say this, Sue. I was standing out. I was letting the cat out this morning now, Fred. So got a hair in my mouth. Ooh, sorry about that, folks. Well, congratulations first and foremost, Sue. So I'm really, really chuffed for you on that one. But I was talking to a lady. I was letting the cat out this morning, Fred, out the front, and a lady was pushing the pram up the road, and she went, "Oh, hello, Danielle," and I went, "Oh, hi." I can't remember you, and I don't mean to be rude. I can't remember her, right? And she went, "There he is." I went, I looked at the pushchair and I was like, all right, yeah, he's lovely, and I'm thinking, right, Danielle, what on earth have you done here, type of thing. She went, you predicted him. I come to the house and you told me I was going to have a little boy off of IVF. Well, here he is. And, you know, it's really nice. And I haven't seen that lady in about a year and a half. And it was really, really nice to sort of get that validation. And it was really nice to... The spirit world are incredibly good with babies, you know. Babies, I will predict on babies because babies are thought about before you even get them to the earth plane. There's something that we agree to in the connections to soul contracts and things like that. And do I think that sometimes the partners that we pick as well? Yeah, I do think that sort of has something to do with the soul contract link there as well. But yeah, well done, Sue, and you know, I hope you send me some photos and stuff when he comes, because I do love them little ones. Denise is saying hi Denise, sweetie, I hope you're well. Jacqueline's saying, yeah, I had to, Danielle. I do protect myself and having a clue what I'm doing. Do you know what it is though, right? That's what I like about you, Jacqueline, right? It's the fact that you haven't got a clue what you're doing, so you've got no fear base built in there. Do you know what I mean? So you just sort of, you're going with the flow, you're going with what feels with you, and that's the best way to do it, sweetheart. You know, you just keep doing what you're doing because it works for you. You know, the next time they come forward, they get a little bit pushy and say, oh look, now get back, because remember, you're always in control type of thing. But you know, I'm really, you know, keep doing what you're doing because it's working for you, and I like that. I really do like that. And I like the fact that your mediumship's not structured and it's not sort of you know, fear-based there as well. So you just keep plodding on there, Jackie, alright? Julie saying, is it possible to receive a message from spirit which is not uplifting or high moral or of a high moral character? Yeah. A lot of people won't agree with that, but I'll tell you, I'll never forget it. I was doing a while back now, you know. I was in Sunderland doing a group sitting, I'll never forget it. And there was a woman in there, and her dad was in there. Her dad was in the spirit world, he wasn't here on the earth plane. And honest to God, he was awful. He was the most awfulest man. But what happens is, you see, right, is that when you do sittings or you do readings, you cannot stop people who've been bad people or people who've done awful things coming forward if they're part of the family connection, right? And he come forward, and I'm not joking, I felt incredibly unwell. I felt really, really sick. And at first I thought it was part of his condition, but it wasn't. It was just the fact that he wasn't a very good man, and he hadn't progressed that far in the spirit world either. But because it was a father, you know, and what happens is my guides will make a conscious choice as to whether or not that person can communicate with me, or whether or not everybody has the voice. Everybody has an opportunity to speak in the spirit world, and everybody's got to have a voice. Does that make sense? And through a medium. And I'm not joking, he was like doom and gloom. He really was like doom and gloom. And I said to her, I says, you know, I've got your dad here, and, you know, this and that and the other. She went, that's my father. She says, my father never had a positive word to say about anybody. So, yeah, I have seen it. I only ever had it once to me. I've only ever seen it once. Only ever once happened to me, and it's never happened to me again. But, yeah, Julie, I have seen that. Yes, my darling, yes. Karen saying my granddad had told me she had an imaginary friend. Well, then encourage that, Karen. Encourage it. Right, because I see a lot of people, my mum was one of them, who turned my imaginary friends away and scoffed at me like I didn't know what I was talking about, type of thing, you know. So don't ever scoff at that. Keep that with you, because it's such a passion, and you tend to find that it is the spirit world who's playing with them, and it's really nice to encourage that, and it's really good to encourage it. And, you know, she'll find comfort in you, Karen, if you actively encourage it, because, you know, a lot of people say don't actively encourage it, but I would say me, you know, because I've been there, and I know that from being a child, I was always looking for somebody to understand my imaginary friends, and nobody did, and I had no one to talk to them about them, and I always did want somebody to talk to. So, you know, do talk to her about it, and, you know, she'll come to you and she'll confide in you and stuff. So it'll be fantastic, Karen. You'll love it. Honestly, that's such a beautiful connection. I'm so touched by you. I wish you the very best for that one there. I really, really do. Denise is saying she believes in past life. Christine saying a little light. Wait a minute, I've just missed it there. Christine Dawson saying a little light on the spiritual laws by Deborah. A little light. Sorry, it's a book she's recommending. All right, Christine's recommending a book. A Little Light on Spiritual Laws by Diane Cooper is a good book. I'll certainly take a look at it there, Christine. Debbie's laughing. Irene saying great Nana next month myself. Well, do send me the photos there, won't you, Irene? Sue saying you said a baby boy. I'll let you know. Please do. Please do. Right. Danielle says, will you be doing anything on protecting yourself? I know them for years because it freaks me out. Right. Let's talk a little bit about this. So, are you ready? Let me take a mouthful of my tea. Okay. Tea's done cold. I hate that. Yuck. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about grounding and protecting. Right. We'll go with the easiest one first. Grounding. My advice, you do, again, whatever it is that you feel you need to do. If you feel that you need to put a grounding down before every sitting that you do, every floor event that you do, for every link for the spirit world that you do, by all means do it. I ground from time to time. I put, you know, I do what I do. I do it when I think it's ready for me. That's what I do. I do it when I feel it's right for me. No more, no less. Right. Let's get opening and closing. Right. There's 2 ways to do it. And I'm going to give you the 2 ways, and then I'm going to give you the positives and negatives to each. All right. And then you're going to go away, Danielle, and make your decision from this. Right. So we're going to go into the old school way of opening and closing. So the old school way of opening and closing was to imagine a teapot on your head, a flower opening up, you know, a zip, whatever it may be. Right. And what you would do 10 to 15 minutes before you were due to work, you would take the teapot lid off, you would open the zip up, you'd open the flower up, whatever it may be. Whatever it is that floats your boat, and that depends, right? Because everybody's visualization is different, okay? Now, a lot of people would then say, you know, you imagine the light coming from up there and dropping down on your head and encasing yourself in a white bubble, in any colour that you so wish. Doesn't have to be white, be any colour you like. Why do we do this? Well, there's a couple of reasons as to why. There's a couple of pros and there's a couple of cons. So the pros are what the pros were or are supposed to be is one, it's protecting you from the loved ones that are coming forward, because they're not your loved ones, they're somebody else's loved ones, and nobody really knows what somebody else's loved ones is going to do to you, regardlessly as to whether because remember, you're just a medium in the middle. right? The other one is to protect your energy, keep your energy safe so that your energy isn't being interfered with, etc., etc., etc. So they're just a couple of reasons of the pros, right? Some of the cons of it is that it's immaterial. You don't. Oh, we've lost you. I've lost you. Are you not there? Oh no. Oh, what happened there? Oh, what's happened? Are you all still there? Are you all still there? Yes, it froze, I know. Are you still there? I don't know what happened. I've lost you all. Me, Danielle, are you still there? Are we here? Good, good, good. Right, wait a minute then. Let me just link out and link back in. Hold up, hold up. Are you still there? Yeah. Oh, spirit intervention there. Right? So getting back to Danielle, are you all still there? Oh, good, 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 good. Right. So getting back to Danielle's question of opening and closing. So we were up to pros and cons of that side of it, right? Now, the negatives of this is people say that it's just a visual, there's no need for it, the spirit world aren't going to harm ya, etc., 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 right? That's the old school side of opening and closing. Then you've got new school mediumship. Now, I've seen a kind of bit of this over the last 8 months. This one is where you just shift your consciousness and that you do not need any protection up because all the essence of spirit world is love and that nobody's going to harm you and nobody's going to do anything to you. The negative to that is that you might not always knock your mind back down onto the conscious earth, so you might always be half in the spirit world and half here on the earth plane. That is a negative to it. Pros to it, as long as you're disciplined enough with your mind and you can keep your mind in that disciplined place, there is no issues or problems with that connection there. So that's a positive, that's a pro. The choice is yours, Danielle. It's entirely up to you what you do with either one. I ain't here to tell you whether this is right or this is right. You will do whatever it is that feels comfortable and most right for you because they're the choices in which that you have. I am not going to tell you what I do because then that would sway your decision or that would sway what you think. So I will leave them with you and you will do whatever it is that you feel is best for you. Grounding, you can put that down whenever you like. As with opening and closing, the choices are yours and yours alone to make, and I would be wrong of me to interfere with that in any way, shape, or form. So all I will give you is both choices and allow you to do what you feel is best for you, and I wish you every success with it all right? Right, what other questions have we got? Because I sort of lost all of them because we were sort of fascinated. I'm watching the golf. Right, all right, Paul, no bother. Will do, Danielle. Got to go for a Generation Piccadilly. Well, no bother, Irene. See you later. Kelly says, my 2 children talk to me about their friends. I'm passing over. It's a good thing. They listen to their own intuition. Definitely. Kelly West, Irene saying, animals can sense spirit too. My dog suddenly once barked at a photo and we've been there for quite a while. Yes, animals are very susceptible to the energies. I would agree with that. Julie saying, what do you interpret the spirit life is like? Do spirits have duties? Yes, of course. Spirit world is very much like this world. Only if you take away, the houses and all that type of thing, do they all have duties and things and jobs and that type of thing up there as well? Yes, without a shadow of a doubt. They continue to evolve and grow as a spiritual being. Also, they're assistant mediums, the spirit world and whatever it is that the spirit world needs assistance with, whether it be with the animal kingdom, whether it be with pets, whether it be with children, whether it be with healing, whatever it may be, they are busy in the spirit world. They are just checking on their family and friends and making sure that they're all okay. So yes, do they have duties? Yes, they do. Some are training to be guides. Some of them are training to be, and I've mentioned 5 different types of guides. Some people do have 5 guides in their team. Like I say, some people only have 1. So therefore, they've all got to be trained and looked on and watched on. The earth's got to be watched on. They're watching on what the humans do down here. So yeah, they're a busy bunch up there, all right? Let's have a look. Let's see what other comments we've got or questions. Hiya to Karen, who's just saying hi. Everybody's just saying, yeah, they're still there. Froze for a moment. So what I would like is to do is maybe share this video around on YouTube. Thank you for all the interactions. It really is helpful there. And thank you very much I hope you'll subscribe and, get your friends and things to sort of, if they're interested in mediumship and things, definitely get them to come on over and sort of interact with the The channel, as I say, the channel will be taking a massive sort of change over the next couple of weeks and months there, and we will certainly be doing a lot more interaction with mediumship and what I advice I would give. I will not tell you, I will just give you advice on what it is that I feel and give you options and choices there, and it will be up to you whether or not you choose to take them, like Danielle's there. So have we got any more questions, or are we sort of sounding off for there for the night? We've been here for nearly an hour. Why is training necessary for mediums like yourself? Right. Again, Julie, I'll give you two options to this. Training is an option. It's not law binding. It's not that you must do it. Training sometimes becomes, some people want to train because they want to become better mediums, or they want to hear what other people's got to say about mediumship and gaining knowledge from other mediums. Some people choose not to train because of the fact that they feel as if they have all of the knowledge in which that they have, or that they learn their knowledge through their guides. It's entirely up to you. Training can also come in other forms of finding better evidence, or what other people classes better evidence, because everybody's interpretation of evidence is also different. Again, I train my people, to be mindful of their evidence, to look for that, quality evidence, but also give what you get as well, because it's important in that. What we can sometimes feel is incredibly excellent evidence is actually of no use to your sitter whatsoever. And I've seen that happen time and time again with a few mediums I've seen watch and myself, where I've looked for them national insurance numbers, I've looked for this, when really all my sitter's looking for is a particular item of clothing. So I always say to my students, or anybody that may ask my advice on this, training, it is a personal choice. It's up to you as to whether you want to take that training or it is not concrete. It is entirely up to you as to whether or not you choose to take that training or not. Your training will come in whichever ways or forms. If you ask your guides to train you, they'll train you, or they'll bring the right people forward that they feel is right for you. If that's what you want, they will always endeavour to give you what it is that you're looking for, or help you with what it is that you're looking for. But as for whether or not it's why is training necessary? Sometimes it's necessary because some people also out there have been trained not in the right way, or they're being trained old school way, and that can sometimes build in fears, which sometimes then has to be undone by another medium. But again, that is again that medium's thought, or what they feel that they need to change in order for this medium to come forward. It's not always necessary, because I tend to find a lot of old school mediums, or mediums who've been trained in the old way, are still giving phenomenal evidence, doing exactly the same as what they did 50 years ago, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with their work whatsoever. So I do feel sometimes some mediums can interfere with other people's work when really they don't need to. And really what they need to do is just be mindful that they're a teacher and not there to dictate. And I see a lot of that go on with some tutors and things, where they dictate, and because you haven't quite hit their bar, or because you're not their favourite pupil. Because I see Naranal, where people had favouritisms of certain tutors that I've seen that had favouritism of certain students, and because them other students didn't quite hit that bar, or because they weren't prepared to bow that certain way or do it their way, they were just shut down, they were just sort of knocked away, and it was just like, no, we're not interested in you. And I see that go on quite a lot, and that makes for a poor teacher. Actually, it makes for a very bad teacher, because what you've then allowed is your personal thoughts and feelings to step in the way of that student learning or growing. I will say a big thank you to a particular gentleman who has allowed me to go training with him, not next month but the month before, even though there's been some personal issues. That will say a lot about that person or that teacher, because he has not allowed that situation to step in the way of my learning or my growing. So is it necessary? Not always, Julie, not always. It is a personal choice or a personal reference to that student, or where that student feels that they need to be there. So I hope that answers your question. I could listen to you all day long, find it fascinating. Well, thank you, Irene, for that. Debbie saying, take care of yourself. I sure will. Danielle saying, thank you for your views and advice. Really interesting. You're very welcome. Leslie saying, what about reincarnation? Do spirit have to work towards it, or do they have a choice? Again, it's a choice there, Leslie. Lindsay, sorry. It's a choice. It's a choice, and whether they want to stay within the spirit world and grow and learn and continue up there, or it is up to them as to whether they want to choose to come back onto the earth plane and do the more earthly lessons there. It's a choice again there, Lindsay. So I hope that answers your question. Sharon saying, how do I get, Danielle, how do you get a guide? How do I get my guides? I ask for them to come forward. I got to my man, oh, it's a good time we had some new people in here. And he'll go, what do you mean by that? And I'll go, well, you know, I fancy, you know, this, or I fancy that, or I'd like to try this, or I'd like to try that. And he'll go, right, no bother. I say, how long? And he say, how long's a piece of string? So he says, it's because they're like people, you know, got proper personalities and everything. I love my man, right? He's proper funny as hell, makes me giggle all the time, right? And he's quite quick-witted, right? And like we chat about this and about that, and I'm like, get away with yourself, man. And he's like, I'm telling you, like this, because he's very, very straight. He is straight, but he's very to the point, and he's really infectious. He makes me giggle all the time. And when I think about him, that's what I want to do, like giggle. He's so funny. He's actually here tonight, bless his little heart. But yeah, if I want somebody new, or we're looking to, you know, sometimes people just turn up and sort of want to integrate with the team, or sort of want to join us because some guides are sort of looking round and looking into the mediums and thinking, well, we could maybe work with them and gain and grow knowledge from, like, me as a medium, because they're gaining knowledge as well. But 9 times out of 10, I sort of ask my man, say, look, I'd like somebody new. I'd like to say, I'd like to try this, I'd like to try that. And within a few days or whatever, somebody's turned up and we sort of work with them. We'll either make our minds up whether they're staying or they'll move on to other person. And it's again their choice. They can stay with me because they think that they've got more to learn from me and I've got more to learn from them. Or they may think that they've learned enough and they'll just step on and move on and go on to the next medium or whatever it is that the task that they want to do in the spirit world. So I hope that answers your question a little bit there for you, Sharon. Julie saying, hi, thanks, Danielle. I love this live stream. It's gone fab. I've learned a lot. You're welcome, Julie. Thank you for your questions. Colin saying, thanks very much. Brilliant. Irene saying, I hope I'm not coming back here. Me and Irene, I said to my man, I says, I don't want to come back. And I've been back a few times. I says, I don't want to come back this time. I says, I've had enough. He says, right, oh, you are great, Danielle. I love watching you. Cheers, Denise, my darling. Can anyone become a medium? Because I always believed it was a gift. So I believe that everybody has a mediumistic ability. I do not believe it's a gift. And I hear this word splashed around so many times and people go, well, it is a gift working for the spirit world. It is a gift to an extent. You know what I mean? It's a magical experience, you know, to work with the spirit world day in, day out. But do I believe it's an ability? Yeah, I do believe it's an ability. And I do believe that it is to be strengthened and pushed and worked for and looked at and these types of things. It's a gift in the respect that I get. I'm honoured to work with the spirit world every day. It's a gift that they allowed me to work with them and I work with them. But is it a gift in respect of, you know, a gift as a car or a gift in a key or a gift of a house or whatever? No, it's not, because it's a two-way street. It's as much a work for them as it is for me. So do I feel everybody's got a mediumistic ability? Yes. Do I believe that everybody's meant to be a full-blown medium? No, I do not. Let's see what else we've got to say. Thanks for answering. You're welcome, Sharon. Sue's laughing at Irene. Louise is laughing. I see on the other side, thanks to Mum. What experience I've never had. I've never seen it before. It's an experience working with the spirit world. It certainly is. And I've seen some absolutely beautiful things in the spirit world. I've also seen some maybe not so good things as well. But again, you know, you can't just take the rough with the smooth. If you're not saying some negative Nancy's up there from time to time, then, you know, you're not experiencing the full-blown aspect of the spirit world, because it's not all love, it's not all light. There is some, like, people up there that, you know, are progressing. And if you ain't seen that, or you're not talking about that, then you haven't experienced the full spirit world. You've only experienced the bits that you want to experience. You're not prepared to experience the whole shebang of what the spirit world's got to offer you there. And how can you make a conscious decision or a conscious bias, impartial speech about the spirit world if you haven't experienced it all, because you haven't seen that not so good side of the spirit world, because that is there regardless as to what people say. You know, is the spirit world full of love? Yeah, it is, but there's also that side of where people have not always been good people, and if you haven't experienced that, then you're not making an impartial speech about the spirit world there, because the spirit will want you to experience everything so that you can speak about everything, because ultimately, how can you speak about them things if you have not experienced them things there within the spirit world? So I'll leave that one out there for maybe some people to think about with that connection. Any more questions? I'm choked for a cup of tea. I can't believe I've run dry. I get a lot of electric activity, Danielle, here. I get a lot of electric activity here. Could be that you're quite psychic there, Irene. You know, psychic ability tends to be pulled on or used through electricity, but also does the spirit world use electricity? Because again, it's energy, so it's an opportunity for them to sort of, you know, get it, let you know that they're there or around and about you. So I wouldn't worry too much about that there. Do they have their own homes up there? No, Lindsay, they don't have their own homes up there, sweetie. No, because they're not physical beings. They don't need homes. They're just energy. They're just sort of moving around. It's energy. So they don't need physical homes, sweetie pie, all right? So no is the answer to your question, all right? Sue Evans saying, I had a stillborn 37 years ago. She's a woman now or a baby. It'll depend on that. It'll depend on that energy, Sue, as to whether it chose to continue to grow, whether it chose to stay as a child. It would be up to the child. It would be up to that soul's free will as to what it chose there. So I hope that answers your question. Enjoy your advice. You're very welcome there, Sharon. I will do you a cup of tea. Well, I could do with the one there, Denise. Danielle, Jacqueline saying, Danielle, shall I just inbox you on your page? Yes, please, Jacqueline. We'll take that further and discuss that more. Yeah, I agree, Danielle. I always say hello. That's the best way. You just acknowledge them and say thanks very much for your time and thanks for just giving me the heads up type of thing. And, you know, I'm busy with my day-to-day stuff now, so you better pack it in. Pack it in. Move on. Come back later. You're welcome, Jacqueline, darling. You're welcome. Denise is saying laugh out loud. So I hope you found it informative. You know, where I was a little nervous, it's sort of a little bit. It's okay, actually. It's not too bad on here. I definitely need some camera equipment, but like I say, that is on its way. You know, I mean, that's my planner there in the background. Have you seen it? It is absolutely chock-a-block. That is the second half of this year, and I haven't got space to swing a cat in it. I haven't, and then I've got the whiteboard over there with all sorts of malarkey going on. When are you back? On YouTube? Friday night I'll do Friday night. I think I'll come back on and we'll do some more question and answer times on Friday night. So I'll come back on Friday and do some more Friday evening because I'm training with my training lot and I'm doing a meditation, so I'll certainly come back Friday for a couple hours and chat for a little while. I mean, I love to talk about this, but it's a real passion of mine. I get really, really passionate about it, and I love them. I really, really do. I feel absolutely the incredible. They never cease to amaze me, the spirit world. They never cease to amaze me. I'll be ready for you. You best be, Julie. You best be. Thank you for all your questions, Julie. It's been an absolutely phenomenal evening. Thank you very much. And I look forward to seeing you on Friday night. I'm sure you'll have all them questions there for me, and I think I did really well tonight, actually. My knowledge isn't that bad. There's me thinking my knowledge isn't that good, but actually it's not that bad. Thank you, Danielle. It's been really interesting. You're welcome. Sorry, I'm working. My working life gets in the way somehow. It always does, Irene. It always does. Well, if that's it for the questions, please share this video around on YouTube. Please do subscribe. Please do like. I will be back on Friday night around about 8:30 time when I'm finished training my lot. And I'll see you all in the meditation group as well on Friday. So I'm going to love yous and leave yous. Thank you very much for all who's been involved. It's been a pleasure. All right. But bye for now, everybody. Bye.